Hi, my name is Richard Reyes, and I teach 7th and 8th grade physical education in Glen Lake Community Schools. In this session, I'm going to discuss how I was able to transform my PE classes into a digital learning environment. My school is one-to-one with iPads, but even if you do not have one-to-one iPads, many of the concepts that I talk about will still be possible with a few devices or within a bring your own device setting. Teachers received their iPads last summer, and I immediately began to think of ways I was going to implement iPads into my physical education classes. But my big thing was, I did not want technology to feel forced, but more so a natural part of the class, and ubiquitous in a sense. First, I knew I had to start by doing old things in new ways. Not because this was my ultimate learning goal, but because doing so was necessary. The iPad has replaced a plethora of day-to-day items that I use in the gym, and if you are a PE teacher, all of these items should look familiar to you. I used to have clipboards for almost every PE related task, whether they were used for station signs, reinforcement, or skill testing. I used to carry around a thick clipboard with built-in stores that contain attendance sheets, class documents, student information, and emergency forms. I used to have a stopwatch practically worn as a necklace that I would use to track running times or manage circuit training routines. Inside my desk contained about every arrangement strategy for groups that you could possibly think of. But I always had to start fresh with new students based on personalities and skill levels. I used to print study guides and skill cards for every student and hope that they would take them home and not end up on the locker room floor. All quizzes were completed with paper and pencil following a unit. Flip scoreboards were used for a variety of activities, and smartboards were used for daily tasks, skill cues, or demonstrations. But with all of these items, it was time to say bye-bye and hello to the iPad. Now, I have a pile of unused clipboards, a file cabinet filled with endless documents that I will never use again, attendance sheets, documents for marking and assessment, teaching manuals, student records, like fitness scores, behavior, effort, and skill checklists, are now all in one place, and that's on the iPad. My stopwatch now consists of an app that has the ability to track each student's time as they cross the line by simply tapping their name. Mixing up teams are now completed with an app called Team Shake, in which you can group students based on skill levels at the touch of a button. Lessons, skill cues, teams, instructions, scoreboards, activities, and drills are now projected on the whiteboard through an Apple TV connection, as well as being shared with students on their iPad via Edmodo. QR codes have allowed students the opportunity to view videos on skills and drills to practice instead of having one video played in one location. The camera function allows students to peer assess one another. My day-to-day items that I use in the classroom suddenly became more practical and engaging. But the big question that I asked myself while planning was, what do I want my students to be able to do? I wanted students to have a place where all class documents, links, and videos could be accessed at all times. I wanted a place that students could communicate and collaborate with myself and other classmates. Also, I wanted a place where students could complete and submit assignments and quizzes. That is when I found Edmodo and quickly realized it was the absolute perfect tool for PE teachers. As you can see, the interface looks very similar to Facebook, which is very appealing to students and myself alike. Classes can be set up for students and parents to join, and you can even join groups for personal learning networks. Alerts can be sent to students as reminders, causing a notification, sort of like an incoming text message. Course documents can be shared with students within folders for students to be able to access at all times. Students can submit assignments or quizzes to be graded and given feedback. Calendars are used for students to be able to view upcoming units or assignments. So essentially, Edmodo has become the backbone or platform for all of my classes. The tricky part was finding a way for students to open an assignment, complete it, and then submit, all by using the iPad. It took some trial and error, but I used an app called Notability, which allows students to type or draw for students to be able to complete assignments. Some teachers use Penultimate, Evernote, or Office HD. It doesn't really matter as long as students are able to understand the workflow in your class. Students find the posted assignment on Edmodo, open using the Open In function in Notability, where they will complete the assignment, and once they've completed the assignment, they submit it in Edmodo to await for grading. With a platform like Edmodo, along with a workflow strategy, the iPad has helped to tremendously improve my assessment practices in PE. After completing workouts, students track their heart rates to determine the intensity level of their exercise. These are two heart rate apps, Instant Heart Rate and Heart Rate, that I use in class. They are simple yet effective without the hassles of heart rate monitors. Students screenshot their heart rates and turn them in on Edmodo from their photo libraries. Assessing skills used to involve me creating a station for students to demonstrate a skill as I checked off critical points within that skill on my clipboard. Now, I use apps such as Coach's Eye, UberSense, and the Camera app to give students opportunities to peer assess one another. Students use skill cards, which are posted on Edmodo and in the gym, to help peers complete a skill. Students will view their videos and make corrections if needed, and then submit to Edmodo from their photo library. Also in their library, they create albums for each unit that we complete. And for their final portfolio and project for the year in PE, they highlight what they learned throughout the year by using iMovie or Animoto. Google Forms have replaced checklists and student records in my PE classes. They are simple to create and manage. Students can submit skill videos on Edmodo, show me their videos, or do live demonstrations. First, I add all classes and students into a Google form. So when I assess a skill, I choose that student from a drop-down menu and complete their assessment on a scale of 1 to 4 for each skill for that unit. Once you create the form, you can add it to your home screen in a PE folder for easy access. If you have not tried Google Forms before, I would highly recommend them for skill testing and other assessment methods in your class. FitnessGram is a testing program that my students complete triannually. Students set fitness goals on a Google form and keep track of their progress throughout the year. FitnessGram 9 recently released an app so I don't have to carry around my computer anymore. Instead, I enter in all information on the iPad. And since FitnessGram is web-based, students can access their fitness reports anywhere they have an internet connection. Another strategy that I've implemented this year was the flipped classroom, mainly because I felt this strategy was a perfect fit for PE teachers. In essence, students view all class materials before coming to class and respond to a few questions or a small quiz to ensure their understanding. During a bowling unit this year, I used an app called Explain Everything to create a video on how to score in bowling and had students do a practice scorecard. The next day, students who understood were able to complete the scorecard and served as peer teachers for their group members. The great thing was that I could identify the students who were struggling and help them gain a better understanding. That was by far the most effective experience I have had in my 5 years of teaching scoring and bowling. Before I wrap things up, I wanted to share one more thing that I chose to do this year that became such a valuable resource in my journey. My first 3 years of teaching, I worked in a large school district of 35 schools in Phoenix, Arizona, where I had a strong personal learning network with other teachers in the district. At Glen Lake, We are the only school in the district, and personal learning networks are a little more difficult to come by. Twitter has knocked down the walls of my school and allowed me to connect with many great teachers around the world to share ideas and discuss common issues. Twitter has single-handedly become the best piece of professional development that I have ever experienced. And I firmly believe that every teacher should have a Twitter account. So if you would have any more questions or you want to join in on the conversation, you can follow me on Twitter at RealisEdTech, join the conversations at #PChat, or visit my website at realisedtech.weebly.com. Well, I hope I was able to give you a few ideas to create a digital PE learning environment at your school. And if you do, please don't hesitate to share. I am always looking for new ideas and learn about what others are doing in their classrooms. Thank you.